Welcoming in Coach Jeff Van Gundy, former head coach for the New York Knicks, former head coach for the Houston Rockets, obviously NBA analyst extraordinaire for the family. Molly will be back with us in just a second, just having technical difficulties. No, I did not take her job, Coach. I didn't take her job, but I'm letting Max know with you right here.
Coach, he unplugged
Rules and
it.
regulations are different when I'm running the show here. Max speaks when he's spoken to, Coach. So let's
Why
go
don't
to
you plug Molly
right
back
now,
in,
they're
Stephen
talking
A?
about zip it. Stop it. Ah, let's go to you, Coach, right here, right now. The NBA season, everybody's talking about how it's scheduled to, it's possible that it may resume this summer. Your thoughts about that?
Well, I think they're going to definitely be able to start again, it seems like now. You read everything. I think like most NBA fans and people involved in the NBA, I have great belief in Adam Silver's judgment. So I don't think he's going to put anybody in harm's way and minimize the risk as much as possible. My question is, will the NBA be able to finish their season? I think they'll be able to start back up, but finishing, I think, is going to be a much more difficult proposition.
Coach,
Max,
why would
you may speak.
I
Go
hear what
ahead.
you're saying. I feel that way. I feel that way about the NFL and Major League Baseball, particularly since it looks like, obviously, the NFL will be playing in the cold months. But given the NBA is trying to get out in front of it, the fact that you can play it mostly, the rest of it in the warm months, they're going to have centralized locations, et cetera, why are you concerned with the NBA finishing? It seems to me like they'd have the best chance of the major sports leagues.
Well, I think what I'm concerned with is the level of fear that's going to consume any players, coaches, owners, when you start to have a positive test or two. I think you can't mitigate the amount of fear. And I'm also concerned that one or two or three really good players may not feel comfortable in coming back. I think right now we're underestimating the fear that the unknown of this virus may bring to our players.
Fair enough. Hey, Coach, Molly here. I am back. Sorry, dropped for a moment. So I didn't get to hear what the guys already asked, so I apologize right now if I'm being redundant. But I want to go to the Last Dance, Coach, because you were with the Knicks facing those 90s Bull team. What caused you the least amount of sleep when you had to prepare for that dynasty?
Well, you know, obviously, when you think of the Bulls, Jordan's talent got most of the notoriety, and then secondarily, the triangle offense that Phil Jackson instituted. But for us, the hardest thing for us in those games to try to come out with a win was being able to score enough against their great defense. They had great size at every position. They were tremendous defensively. We had a hard time rebounding the ball, particularly when we were double teaming Jordan. And then third, in the games we lost, critical games in the playoffs, our free throw shooting betrayed us. So those three things were constant, along with obviously Jordan and the triangle offense.
Coach, obviously you loving basketball and knowing basketball the way that you do, you're going to give credit where credit is due, even to those that weren't champions. That doesn't take away from their greatness in your eyes. I know how you think in regards to that. But when you look at Michael Jordan and the multitude of people he cost a championship to, the multitude of people he specifically denied winning a championship, who are the guys that stand out in your mind, or is there one particular guy whose legacy, at least to
Jeff
some
Van
degree,
Gundy,
may have
Stephen A.
suffered more than the others because they didn't win?
Well, I think without question, the four that come right off the top, and I don't want to miss anybody, but it was Ewing, Barkley, Stockton, and Malone. Those four, to me, stand out as all-time greats, who, because of Jordan's incredible talent at closing games, just, you know, there was not an answer. So those four and many more.
Coach, when I think about Jordan's first retirement, it was sort of like a parallel universe. Okay, without Jordan in the league, who's the alpha? Who's the champion? Who's the best player? And it turned out to be Hakeem. Although I thought Ewing played defensively very well in that series, and you guys came super close. I mean, you know, if John Starks if Hakeem doesn't get his fingertips on that ball in Game 6, maybe the Knicks win in 6 games. But what was it in Jordan's 2-year absence, you think, that where the Knicks couldn't get over the top and at least grab one like in '94?
Yeah, well, I'll take you back to '94. The thing I regret most is in the regular season we got swept by Houston. We both ended up, I think, with 55 wins, and they got home court advantage. And so anybody that tells you a regular season game is not important knows nothing of what they talk about. That one regular season game cost us home court and ultimately the series. I think, again, those Knicks teams were fantastic defensively. We just didn't have enough offensively against elite teams. I think down the stretch of those games in the fourth quarter, it was really hard for us. But I have nothing but respect for those Knicks teams. Those Knicks teams gave everything they had to the pursuit of a championship. And that's why, in my eyes, they'll always be champions, because you couldn't give more than Ewing and Oakley and Starks and Harper and the whole list of guys that we were able to coach. It was an incredible coaching experience.